information. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, that helps futures lose pride.
Hello, everybody. This is Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. I am excited and delighted to be here live with you. Yes, it's Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. And today is a little different. Because we're going to talk about gut health. And this is an impromptu. So I'm going to be a little bit all over the place. But my goal is to share with you information that I know can be of help when it comes to health with yourself and with your kids or your grandbabies. Now, let me give a quick disclaimer, and I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm being very transparent. And when I say transparent, openly honest, nothing to hide, don't really care if I insult someone. Well, I mean, I do care. That's why I said it. But if I insult you, that's not going to be on me. That's on you. Because what I'm going to share with you is real good, solid information that can help you and the people that you love or care about. And where I was going with that is that not everybody cares. So those people, I would say, you know what? Just don't even watch this video. Don't spend any time with me if you don't care. And I get it. Some people don't care because they're depressed. Some people don't care because it's just never been part of who they are. It's not something that is important to them, right? If you've lived long enough, you've met people that their parents die and it's almost like they're not even affected. You look at someone and their husband dies and it's like, man, that's not even, doesn't even seem to bother them. Because there's a whole bunch of people living life filled with mental health issues and a lot of hate and a lot of depression. And they get off on gossip and like clickbait, crazy stuff. I'm not here to share with those kind of people. I'm here to share to help people and be informed about things in the areas of health that I'm aware of that a lot of people are not aware of. They don't have the aptitude. They don't have the comprehension skills, maybe. They are just ignorant. And ignorant is not an insult. Ignorant literally means, because when I do posts and I say someone is ignorant, people get upset. Like I'm saying they're stupid. Ignorant and stupidity are two different things. So I got to bring it down so that we're like clear that I'm not here to insult people. Ignorant means you are unaware. Now, when it comes to nutrition, because I've been to hundreds of Black churches giving lectures, seminars, hundreds of white churches, hundreds of mixed churches with various ethnicities. And I can tell you right now that when it comes to nutrition and better health, a large majority of the people that would even hear about this video are ignorant. And don't take that the wrong way. You're unaware. There are people who use grapeseed oil thinking that's a healthy alternative, not knowing that grapeseed oil is high in linoleic acid and omega-6 fatty acid that increases inflammation in the body, that puts them in an inflammatory state, which plays a huge role in why those people have higher risks of blood clot, stroke, heart attack, and I can keep going. So they would be ignorant until they learned the truth, because they heard someone say that that would be a better oil. So it's not their fault. When you're ignorant, it's not your fault. You're just ignorant. And the goal is to become aware. And in the world of wellness, which was coined by Halbert Dunn, Dr. Halbert Dunn, and most people who talk about wellness don't even know who Dr. Halbert Dunn is. But I'm one of those brothers that actually know, like, I don't talk about things unless I really know those things. And anybody who knows me knows that. That's why I don't get the opportunity to debate with many people in the nutrition, weight loss, health, fitness area. And a whole bunch of them know me, big influencers. And they're intimidated, they're insecure, they have very low self-esteem. And so they don't want their people to know about me, because I'm going to bring the truth. And unfortunately, a lot of these people don't share the truth. I'm searching the truth. And if I were to be on the stage or sitting on a panel or be on the live with anyone who knows something that I did not know and it can help other people, I'm all in. I'm in. Because I want to give people the truth. It's like, Jesus, help us. So yeah, today's a really cool day. And gut health is a big deal. And a whole bunch of people out there that's talking gut health, or they heard about gut health, don't have any clue about it. And well over 2,000 years, a gentleman by the name of Hippocrates said that all disease begins in the gut. All disease, dis-ease, begins in the gut. Modern day science says he was right. He was so right that we know that we have a brain that we point to our head. Well, the gut, when we talk about gut health, is looked at as the second brain. And there's a gut to brain axis, means there's a constant communication between your gut and your brain that plays a huge role in what your health is going to look like. So think of all the people that you know, and think of all the people that you know that don't know anything about the gut, but they want to be healthy because they have given all of their decision making and awareness to what their doctor tells them. And when you look at the word doctor, the root meaning in Latin is I shall please. So just the word doctor makes a person feel like there's an affirmation that's automatic, meaning whatever the doctor says is gold. And I'm sorry, but you've been bamboozled. If you don't know what I mean by bamboozled, hoodwinked. If you don't know what I mean by hoodwinked, God bless you. Now, my goal is not to be, and I'm not an arrogant guy. And I'm only saying that out loud because sometimes when people hear me share information, as one of my childhood friends did earlier this week, he said that I was coming across arrogant because I was sharing a truth. And I'm sorry that he felt that it was arrogant that I'm sharing a truth. And he felt it was arrogant because that was his ego that was having a problem accepting something that he was not aware of. And as a guy with a master's in counseling psychology and who has spent a lot of time in psychoneuroimmunology my whole career, understanding the relationship between what's in the gut, what's in the brain, how we think, how we act, I just happen to know a little bit about it. Now, I don't know how to change a carburetor. I don't know how to sell a house. I am not someone who knows something about everything and is good at a whole bunch of things. I'm good at my thing and what I know. And then he pushed back on that. So my goal in this share is to share with you information that you may not know. But if you take a little bit of what I share and you go do a little bit of due diligence, a little bit of research, and I know not everybody can do that because not everyone has the aptitude or the comprehension skills to be able to do, they don't. And that's not being insulting. That's real. Not everyone knows how to learn and has the ability to remove confirmation bias, meaning you don't go in with preconceived outcomes or beliefs, because that will stir you from not seeing the truth for what it is. Let me give you an example, and then I'm going to get into the gut thing and share with you something I'm very excited about. Okay, now this is just an example. I'm not generalizing, but I'm going to talk about the majority. Like I've for years been talking about how if you look at every population in the United States of America, and when I say population, I'm talking about pockets of ethnicities, Black folks, Hispanic folks, Polish folks, Italian folks, right? Pick the ethnicity. Whether you're in Florida, Indiana, Illinois, LA, doesn't matter. Of all the different pockets of ethnicities, there's one group that's dying faster than any other group. There's one group that has the biggest health disparity, big time, 4 times more likely to experience Alzheimer's compared to everybody else. Multiple times more likely to have high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, be amputated because of type 2 diabetes, more than any other group. In all areas they lead, die from breast cancer, you name it. What group of people do you think that is? It's the Black woman. That's right. Black women die faster than anyone. And every group that I've gone to, every celebrity person I've gone to, every big church organization that I've gone to, that focus a lot on the Black community, not one time have they decided, hey, Robert, let's do something about it. Actually, that wouldn't be true. There's 2 that I've gone to. Okay, there's 2 where I felt there was hope. But everybody in the group had no hope. So when it comes to me, if we look at the truth, go look at Roland Martin, listen to Steve Harvey's show, go to Ricky Smiley, go look at all of these people, Don Lemon, all of them that just happen to be Black. And they may talk about health, but somebody's getting paid. They do nothing to slow down and to help that community. Earlier this year, I was with a big church. They got grocery stores, and they do nothing to help Black folks when it comes to like reversing this ongoing problem that we have. They don't care. So that's why sometimes I go, look, I'm talking to people who actually care. That doesn't mean all Black people don't care. Let me say that 3 more times. That doesn't mean all Black people don't care, because a lot of Black people do care. But the large majority of Black people and the leaders in the Black community, or the ones who have big visibility, do not care. And I can say that not based on their words, but based on their actions. Right? So I have 25 clients right now that I coach, and they don't pay me a penny. And they're a mixture of Black, white, Hispanic. But I do it because it gives me joy, and I'm sharing and paying it forward and wanting to help. And I know they couldn't afford it otherwise. Then I have people that I coach, and I don't charge them much. And then I have some clients that I charge as much as $1,200 a month. So I have clients that pay $1,200 a month. I have clients that pay maybe $300-400 a month. I have clients that pay me $50 a month. And I have clients that pay me nothing. So my actions do my talking. Okay. I went a little longer on that than I wanted to, but it's the real. And if you like re-listen to it, tell me if I'm missing it. Tell me if I'm lying. Help me understand. If you catch me and I'm lying, if I'm missing on some stats, call me out on it. Seriously. Now, we have this thing called gut health. And many people don't realize the importance of gut health. And so there's a company that I'm partnered with, and I'm on one of their boards. So let me just put that out front, because I do sell what I'm going to tell you, and I do benefit from that. So that's full disclosure. But it doesn't take away from the truth of what it is. And whether you got with the product or the test that I'm recommending, hey, God bless you. But this is a different test that will help give you insight into your health, that the gut is communicating with you about. And when you improve your gut health, then you improve all parts of health: mental health, emotional health, physical health. Now, today, I did both my daughter's tests. So I'm holding these two little things. And this really got me excited to do this. Actually, that's the main reason why I wanted to do the live, but I didn't have no real agenda aside from I'll give you insight. But at the same time, I wanted to vent. Okay. I wanted to vent and just keep it real, because some of you are parents and you have kids and you don't know what I know when it comes to nutrition and health. And I feel privileged, right? So getting my kids to do their test today, we had a good time. It was very fun. Only regret I have is I didn't videotape it, but I wish I had. But getting my kids tested, I had a moment where I felt privileged, right? Like if you did that with your grandkids, you may feel privileged. And my kids are old enough, because they're teenagers, where I get to go over their results of their tests, and they're going to learn a lot about inflammation in the body, because the generation born today and then the last 20 years will not live to the age of their grandparents. This has been statistically predicted. Every other stat where they had these predictions has come true. So when you look at your grandkids and you look at your kids and you think that they're healthy because they're not overweight or obese, you better think again. Because when you're gone, they're going to be left with dealing with low-grade chronic inflammation. And they're not going to live their best and healthiest life. They're going to have conditions, diseases that a lot of people experience, but yet they are likely to experience it earlier. And I'll never forget Governor Tommy Thompson, when he was the secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services. He said that kids born today, which was in the 80s, will not live to the age of their parents. Now, in my personal experience, okay, I can only tell you my personal experience, and the stats back this up. Most of my friends that have passed on, their parents are still alive. These are guys I grew up with. So we hit age 50 and they're gone. If they're not in prison, they're gone. I mean, there's a few of them still kicking, but they don't look the healthiest. Not all of them, but most of them. And so this test and a gut test is something everybody could benefit from. So I just want to encourage you to reach out to me to learn more about it and to save you time and energy. If you're watching this video live or you're catching the replay, underneath the video, I wrote an article. The article is substantiated. There's 10 citations that are referenced in the bibliography that back up everything I'm saying about the importance of a gut test. Now, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just informing you. because you want to know where you are with your health, and you want other people to know, to include the people that you care about, right? Like your husband, maybe you love them. Maybe you want them, at least let them know. Give them the option to get tested. Maybe you don't care. I mean, now when you get this test, you get these unique codes. I'm not showing you what the code is because I don't want you looking at my daughter's codes. But on the other side of this card, I have their code. And so this makes it where you have total anonymity. So only you will know what your results are. And only you will know, making it HIPAA compliant, if you've heard of that term. Okay. And then you get a self-addressed envelope. As you can see, it says no postage necessary. You don't even got to pay for that. Talk about making something simple. And then you just put it in the mail. And in 10 to 20 business days, you get your results. And what they see inside of your red blood cell will tell you what's going on. Then you're put in a position where you can take action. You can actually do something about your situation. Maybe you're going to work out where everything is great. Everything is in balance. That means what you're doing is working. Or maybe you're not in balance. Then there's going to be recommendations on how to get in balance. And then 3 months later, you can test again. Now, this test wasn't a gut test. It was a balance oil or balance test. So we're just really looking at inflammation and looking at where they are when it comes to that. Now, the article that I'm recommending you read, I wrote it and then I wrote it again. So if you heard me mention this or saw a post on Facebook or somewhere else, refresh your page because I rewrote it. Because I wanted to add more information. So I had like 4 references at first. Now there's 10 references. Because I wanted to take people into a place where they better understood where the test goes, what makes the test different, what makes it effective, meaning scientifically validated and verified. And then they could do additional research. And I just wanted them to see like how we got to this place. And I provided some other things. Now, all of that being said, and I'm about to go. This week, I'm going to do some live presentations. I'm going to do one on the importance of the balance test, which is what my daughters did, which I recommend all of you. So even if you're catching this video 6 months later, go to my website, dietfreelife.com. There's links below. Just attend one of our meetings. So on Tuesdays, I'm going to do a whole meeting presentation on the importance of balance, meaning omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. There's a balance there. And when the ratio is in a certain range, that means that you're in what we call the safe zone, which is where everybody wants to be. I want my kids in the safe zone. And when I'm gone, if I'm fortunate to leave before they leave, then I want them to be fully aware of all of this so that they can optimize their health. Because I know from the work that I do, the role of chronic inflammation on how it expresses itself and shows up in a whole bunch of conditions, right? From arthritis, Graves' disease, Hashimoto's, gout, lupus, it just goes on and on and on. Who wouldn't want their kids to be informed? I do. But again, like I said, not every parent is going to go the extra mile for their kids. They're just not. Not every grandparent is going to be willing to spend a little money on their grandkids. They're just not. I don't know why people are that way. I just know how I am. I mean, the closest people to me is my mom and my 2 daughters. Now, I have other people, family members. Now, they're aware of it. But if they choose not to, I can't help people like that. Now, I'll watch them have type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure and neuropathy and live with not the best quality of life. but that's their decision. Maybe they're just waiting on their doctor one day to wake up, and they don't realize that their doctor is my client. Like their doctors don't know. But some people grew up where they give everything to their physicians. Like, if the doctor doesn't tell me, let me take it by my doctor. Let me run it by the doctor. Like, they just are compelled like a vampire. And that's why some of these doctors just really piss me off, because they're just like, they're not humble enough to let people know what they don't know. And it's like something happens when you graduate med school and you get that white coat, you put it on, now you know. That's why I always recommend, and have for years, become your best health advocate. Don't just trust everybody. Don't just trust me. That's why whenever I write an article, I substantiate it, meaning it's not just me writing and just take my word for it. I make sure that I substantiate and have the data there, the supporting data that supports what I'm actually sharing. And when I do that, then I don't run into any problems with anybody. You can print it out, take it to your doctor, it's there. And I have a disclaimer before every article that I write. And I make it easy so you can print it, take it to your doctor, take it to your lawyer, take it to whoever. Okay. Any questions for me, for those of you who caught me live? What's up, Sandy? I'm glad you caught me. What's up, Marianne? You know, God bless us all. Inflammation is real. And if you keep putting off dealing with it, everything just gets worse. And there's a lot of people that put off dealing with it. So when it comes to gut health, we're going to be doing a live with that also this week. I'm going to do a really cool presentation and show you how this gut test that I write about, how it works and why everybody wants to get it. You want to get your gut test. I mean, if you're going to live and you want quality of life, you might as well know, work from the inside out. And if Hippocrates is right, which we believe he's right, he said all disease begins in the gut. So if you don't have a healthy gut, how can you have a healthy life? All right, let me see if I can catch somebody on Facebook. Oh, boy. Let me see. Amy Prine, I think you caught me. What's up, Lisa Marie? Lisa Marie is like a star. I hope you're catching this, Lisa. I don't know if you're on here live, but she is a star in my opinion. She's one of my dear friends, and I get to work with her. Well, I work with her anyway, but I'm going to get to work with her in the next journey of her nutrition. And she respects me, and guess what? I respect her. And she's real. And there's nothing more cool when you're a coach like myself, and she's actually a coach, to work with someone that's real. Nothing more exciting. Like, I coach Amy, and she's worked with me for over 15 years. She's a coach. She's got a whole bunch of clients. But we're humble. We understand the importance and power of accountability and having a second set of ears and a second set of eyes. When you do that and you have that, like Michael Jordan had a coach, Michael Jackson had a coach, Celine Dion had a coach, Elvis Presley had a coach. No one that you highly respect or look up to in whatever their field is, they all had a coach. And the ones who are still active still have a coach. Like when I was working with LaToya Jackson, I remember her saying that, you know, she had a voice coach. She had various coaches. I'm like, you've been doing this since you were a baby. But she knows the value of a coach. Tony Robbins, one of the most famous motivational speakers of all time. He's always talking about coaching, and he has a coach. Shit. I mean, what would it take a person? That's what I mean. Like there is a level of comprehension, I'm gonna say aptitude, that plays a role in a lot of this. And some people are really smart and maybe it's something they're into, but they're not smart when it comes to their life. Like I'll never forget, like I've coached people who were judges, right? They're like a judge, valedictorian of their graduating class, physicians. I've had clients of mine that are PhDs in dietetics and nutrition, and they're my client. So they have the book knowledge, but they realize just because you know doesn't mean you're going to grow, right? Just because you know something doesn't automatically mean you get the win. And the longer you go without realizing that, the worse things get. And this is why, okay? If this is what you know, and this is what you do, there's a gap between the two, right? If I know something, but I'm not doing what I know, the bigger that gap, the worse I feel about myself. The bigger that gap, the worse I feel about myself. Think about the mom who's like, I know how to eat, but she's not doing what she knows. Her self-esteem is horrible. How she feels about herself is horrible because she knows, but she's not doing what she knows. We must bridge that gap. When you bridge that gap, that's where the power takes place. You remember the Power Rangers back in the day? Power Rangers unite, or however they would say it. You know, it's funny. A whole bunch of my friends did all the stunts for that show. And I actually was invited at one point, because I've been a martial artist my whole life, to come and be on the show and do some of the stunts. And I never got to do it. But Endemol, the guy who made it happen, knew of me and liked me. And I almost did a deal with Endemol, the big production studio, because of that relationship. And then I met this really cool guy named David Armour. We did a development deal. And unfortunately, he ended up leaving. And so it never happened. But all that being said, when you bring it together, as they say in Ethiopia, when spider webs unite, you can tie up a lion. When you connect the dots, so connecting the dots on a personal level, we all benefit. And when you feel better, you're able to do better. And your kids, your husband, your wife, your friends, your business partners, the people you do work with, everybody benefits when you are in a place of benefit. So think of all the people that want to be in good health and don't know anything about gut health. Those are people chasing effects. Now, some of them will get lucky, but many of them won't. Some of them will hear me do this whole talk and they'll do nothing. Some of them just can't afford to take action, and I get that. Some of them is ego. I don't know. Some of them say they're Christians, and they know that you don't let ego get in the way. You must be humble. But they're in the flesh, and they're in the world. And I am not perfect. I make a lot of mistakes, a whole bunch of them. But I also do a lot of things right. And I'm striving to do things right. And when it comes to health, my recommendation, this is not something that you play with. Now, I'm going to paraphrase and I'm going to end. My buddy and partner, Mr. Frank Kimbrough III, he said, you could have 1,000 problems until you're losing your health. Then you got one. The boyfriend, the friend, person you haven't talked to, the car got stolen, can't pay rent, something broke. Okay, those are problems. But when you get cancer, trust me, I've talked to enough people that had cancer. They ain't thinking about those other problems. When you find out that you got so many weeks or months to live, You're not trying to go play pickleball. You're not trying to do a whole bunch of things. You're like, whoa. But sometimes we just need to be in a situation where we need life to just kick us in the butt. Then we wake up. Well, if all disease begins in the gut, you may want to become knowledgeable of gut. And now there's a really simple, easy gut health test. So I'm done. I've shared enough. I hope this was helpful, you guys. It really was coming from the heart. And if you came in late or you're catching this late, I want to encourage you to go back to the beginning, because we all deserve to live our best and healthiest life. But sometimes you may not make a decision because you're just not aware that you could have made that decision. Right? There are people who will experience many health hardships in the next year, 2, 3, 4 years. And they won't even know anything about gut health because their doctor never told them. And their doctor will experience the same health hardships, and they never were taught, because the gut microbiota, the gut microbiome, is not taught in medical school. Now, modern day research, we're very clear on the importance of it. Going back over 2,000 years with Hippocrates, all disease begins in the gut. You know how many psychologists and doctors I talk to, and I tell them that 90 to 95% of all serotonin is produced in the gut, the rest produced in the brain. And they go, they're hearing that for the first time. But yet they're the same people prescribing SSRIs, antidepressants. And did you know that when you get your gut imbalance, those people don't need SSRIs? You know that when you get your gut in a balance, if you've been struggling with weight loss or bloating, those things improve. All disease begins in the gut. How did he know that over 2,000 years ago? And now we know it's true. All right. God bless you all. What's up, Lynn? I'm glad you caught me live because I'm about to turn it off, baby. Here we go. All right. So anyway, thank you guys. I hope some of this was helpful. Keep an eye out because we will be doing a presentation this week on the gut health test. I'm going to walk you through it step by step, how it works. We're going to be doing a whole thing on the balance test as well as the balance oil on Tuesday. And then later this week, I'm going to do a whole talk on nutrition as it pertains to insulin resistance and how you can eat in a way to begin reversing it. Because 93% of adults, according to Tufts University, have some level of insulin resistance. And that may be another big part of your problem on why weight loss may be challenging. Maybe blood pressure you can't get under control. Maybe you got these migraines, like, where is this coming from? Insulin resistance plays a huge role in all of that. And everything I'm talking about as far as the gut, as far as balance tests and balance oil, all connect to insulin resistance. All right. All right, you guys. This is Diet Free Life with Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. Make sure you do a quick like, subscribe, share this if you can. If you know how to do that, it's much appreciated because the goal is to get the word out to more people. And the more likes I get, then the algorithms will help me, especially on YouTube, reach more people. Until the next one. I gotta go.
No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With Diet Free Life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL.